It was a warm Saturday afternoon in our quiet suburban neighborhood when the incident happened, something I never imagined would unfold right outside my own front door. My son Michael had been riding his bike along the sidewalk, laughing with his friends when a man from the homeowners association stormed over. Known around the block for his short temper and self-appointed authority, he had often barked orders about lawn lengths and trash cans left out too long. But this time, his behavior went beyond anything anyone could excuse. He pulled a gun. At first, Michael thought it was some kind of twisted joke. But when the man's hand tightened on the grip and his voice rose, shouting about rules and trespassing, the reality sank in. My heart nearly stopped as I ran toward them, screaming for him to lower his weapon. The other children scattered, terrified, their bikes abandoned on the sidewalk. Neighbors began to step out of their houses, confusion written across their faces. Within moments, what had been a peaceful afternoon turned into a tense standoff. Then came the moment that made the entire neighborhood collectively gasp. After I demanded to know who he thought he was to threaten a child, the man snapped open his jacket, revealing a badge. "I'm a U.S. Federal Marshal," he barked, flashing it like a shield of authority. For a second, there was silence. Neighbors froze, unsure whether to believe him. Others muttered in disbelief. The title carried weight, but the actions did not match the honor of such a position. I stepped in front of my son, shielding him, and told the man he had crossed a line no badge could protect. My voice trembled, but held firm. Neighbors began recording with their phones, whispering about calling the police. The man, realizing the crowd was against him, slowly lowered his weapon. His swagger faltered, though he still clung to his badge, as if it justified everything. The tension lingered in the air like a storm waiting to break. When the real police arrived minutes later, the so-called marshal tried to wave them off, but the officers weren't convinced. They separated him from the rest of us, checked his credentials, and began asking pointed questions. I held Michael tightly, feeling his small hand still shaking against mine. The neighborhood would never see that man the same way again, and I knew one thing for certain. No amount of authority, real or imagined, could ever excuse pointing a gun at a child.